The dating advice for gurus online seems to boil down to just be successful, bro. Given that women rate 80% of men as physically unattractive and 50% of men are below average intelligence, what's the advice for those 40% of men? The bar is set unbelievably low. Like, the average American man is obese, divorced, and with less than 1K in the bank. I think that the internet over-indexes on objective metrics of success and doesn't account for what happens in person. You will see regularly people and guys that are charismatic, funny, sexy in person, batting way outside of their league if you were to just look at them from an online perspective. Basically, I would say don't overthink what the internet says. Dude, if you go to the gym 3 times a week for a year, you're probably in the top percentile of all fitness people on the planet. If you spend $300 on a relatively okay wardrobe, you're probably better dressed than most of the guys that you're going to walk past. Just try a bit and you will already be probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10.
I'm curious, what do you think about this?
Do you think guys need to try harder? Because I put this one in here because we've been joking about this the whole show, which is like, well, it seems to me like a lot of the people who are very anti-red pill right now online are just saying, well, the solution to this is to just get out there, just go out and put yourself out there, go out and approach more, go talk to girls live, go clean yourself up, take a shower, get a $300 wardrobe, go out there and make an effort. Which, by the way, ironically, is exactly what pickup artists have been saying since the mid 2000s. Yeah. So suddenly all this anti-red pill stuff comes full circle, and now we're back to where we were. But I wanted to point this out, and I wanted to pose the question to you guys: is do you think that guys just need to actually get out there and make approaches and try harder, and that would, in some way, I guess, ameliorate the 40% of guys who are actually, still single and sexless? Do you think that is it better for them to do something like that? Is that the cure, or is it go to the gym and just stay in the gym, or gross out in any of like money, muscles, and game, gross out in one of those and hope to God that that's going to be what gets you the girl?
I think you just got to get out there. Like, any of my guy friends who have ever asked me for advice on how to get girls, I'm like, create like a girlfriend group to touch like back on what you were talking about with like the strip club managers. Like, they're surrounded by beautiful women all the time, so they're a little bit desensitized. So I think when you go out there and you make friends that are women, friends that you have platonically that are hot, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can interact with them in like a friendly way. Then when like somebody comes up, like, because women will let you know when they're into you. They're not shy about it. Like, they'll come up, they'll say something saucy to you, and then they'll run away giggling like a little schoolgirl. You know
Women
what I mean?
who are into you will not confuse you.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I think just like going out and like having more interactions, it's kind of like the numbers game, you know what I mean? Like, if you interact with 100 women, what's the percentage of like, say like only 5% of the women you talk to will actually want to have sex with you? Like, I'm just throwing out random ass numbers here. There's like nothing backing this. But if that is the percentage of women that want to sleep with you, if you talk to 100 women, then you have 5 women that want to sleep with you, versus if you talk to 10 women, you might have 0. You know what I mean? So it's like a bell curve, just going out there, being social, interacting, learning how to have healthy, positive interactions. I think that's what.
So this is a discussion that happens all the time, and Destiny was the one who talked about this. If you just go out more, you're more likely to have more sex, and I don't disagree with that concept, but I disagree to the level to which that counts against, like, say, having status or being good looking, being wealthy, having charisma, having pre-selection, mate choice copying, other people finding you attractive, all these other different things, having high status. And the reality is, let's just take 2 different people. We'll take Harvey, who lives in New York. He's an attorney, like Harvey Specter, right? He's an attorney who lives in New York, and he makes $2 million a year, and he's really good looking. And then Larry, the cable guy, he lives in the fucking trailer park, okay? Larry and Harvey may both have 5 sexual partners in a year, but Harvey is going to have way more attractive sexual partners than Larry is, and that's where the difference is. Where the difference is like, you haven't got women solved out. You have not got your women problem solved if you keep having sex with women that you don't find attractive because you're drunk enough to like fucking let it go. It's funny, Tyler's smiling. I don't know why. You haven't got women solved because you got that thing because you're having sex with women you don't find attractive. You have women solved when you are having sex with women you do find attractive. And in order to do those things, it's not just go out more. Yeah. In order to do those things, you have to improve, which is a function of status. And women choosing men who have higher levels of status is hypergamy. For those of you who have a question about that, because hypergamy is real no matter what anyone tries to tell you.
Define that for me.
Hypergamy, it means
alpha fucks, beta bucks.
Hypergamy, in the Oxford definition, it has to do with women choosing men who are at a higher socioeconomic education and income level. That's what it means. Okay. But we hear that's the
expanded definition.
That's the denotative version of it. The connotative from the rational male has to do with everything from height, all these different type of things.
Sex, arousal, attraction.
Yes.
So we simplify it as alpha fucks, beta bucks, or alpha seed, beta need, meaning that women have a dualistic mating strategy, which is they're looking for a guy who has protection, provisioning, and parental investment. The good guy, the guy that's the good dad, right? The guy who's going to be there for the long term, the guy you want to marry, and the guy you want to fuck. The guy who's the alpha, who's the bad boy. We were just talking about this just not too long ago. There's the fuck boy. There's the guy who's, we've got to run through all these guys in my whole phase from 18 to 28 until we get to where suddenly we're found the right guy miraculously and her soulmate on whatever podcast. And she's talking about how she had to run through all these guys before she got to the guy that she's not really all that into because they weren't as exciting as that guy. But that's the dual side of it. So there's the alpha side, the arousal, the visceral, I want to fuck this guy, versus the guy who he's a good dude, still very, still attractive to him, but he's not as exciting as the other guy because he's a better bet for the long term, being provisioning, protection, and parental investment. So there's the alpha side and there's a beta side of that. And either one of those, I hate it when we put these things into good and bad. They're not good and bad. It's just two different qualities. There's the guy who's the dad and there's the guy who's the cad. That's what I keep getting into, and that's what people keep trying to redefine and go back to reinventing the fucking wheel over and over and over again. And I want to point this out also when we're talking about getting out there and say, hey, just go out like Destiny or whatever, this moronic idea that all you have to do is just walk out your door and you're just going to bump into 10 or 12 women who just want to fuck you. The fat guy that was in that video just a little while ago, you're not going to tell that guy, just go out the door and just try your best, bro. No, you got to be better before you go out there.
The context that is missing is that you will sleep with more women.
Right.
You will just not be attracted to them, or they will, in my 20s, I called it an 80% solution. I could always meet girls that were 80% of what I wanted, and then later on, it wasn't until when I got out of the military till I was with women who were 100% of what I wanted. So that was the difference.